The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers. This is the TFNG coming to you with what will hopefully be a successful video. This is just going to be a quick video showing my latest collection haul of Transformers action figures courtesy of Amazon.com. And I've managed to add not one or even two, but up to 6 Transformers action figures recently from Amazon.com. Some of them have been out for a while, so they're Transformers figures that came out a few years ago. Some of them have come out just recently for the very first time, so I was excited to find them on Amazon. So without further delay, let's get into the ones that I have here. So to start things off, we'll go first with the most recent Transformers figures to have been released that I added to my collection. So last month I managed to get from Amazon my first Legacy United Wave 5 action figure, which was Leader Class Overcharge, and Wave 5, which is the fifth and final wave of Legacy United, and it's the final wave of the entire Transformers Legacy trilogy. So starting this year in 2025, the Legacy line is going to be pushed out of the way for Age of the Primes, and a lot of retailers made it sound like they were going to get the final wave of Legacy United in decent amounts during the month of January. The month of January is over halfway over, and so far most retailers have had hardly any Legacy United action figures. There was one copy of one of the figures found at Target, and then I believe another one was found at GameStop. But apart from those two occasions, there hasn't been really much on the final wave of Legacy United, so a lot of fans and collectors are worried that Wave 5 of Legacy United is going to be pushed out of the way by retailers, and they're going to jump straight into Wave 1 of Transformers Age of the Primes. There is some hope, because right now on Amazon, Wave 1 of the Age of the Primes figures, they're street dated currently for release on May 1st of this year. And typically, the street dates for Amazon, they don't usually stay there. Amazon will sometimes bump them up, sometimes up to 2 months. So Wave 1 of Age of the Primes might come out in March, but that still leaves the rest of January and the entirety of the month of February for Wave 5 of Legacy United to appear on the shelves of retail stores here in the US, so fingers crossed that it happens. But anyways, so for my final Legacy United Transformers action figure purchases, which are most likely going to be the final Legacy figures I add to my Transformers collection, but first up we have Legacy United Voyager Class Ramjet. This figure is a re-release of the Earthrise Ramjet figure that was released exclusively on Amazon.com in a 2-pack with Dirge back in 2020. That 2-pack became extremely rare and extremely hard to find. Dirge came out in the Legacy Evolution line 1.5 years ago in 2023. I passed on Earthrise Dirge since Legacy Evolution Dirge since I have the original. I did manage to be one of the collectors who was lucky enough to get the original Earthrise releases of these figures, but the reason I got Ramjet is because my copy of Earthrise Ramjet has a defect where one of the arms doesn't transform correctly. The metal pin that attaches it to the arm to Ramjet's torso, it wasn't lined up properly, and so as a result the arm doesn't actually want to transform properly when I transform Ramjet into jet mode. So a replacement Ramjet figure has been sorely needed for the last 5 years now, so I'm really happy that Ramjet, just like Dirge before him, finally got a re-release here in the Legacy line. No word yet if Thrust is going to get re-released. He was released exclusively at Target stores back in 2020 during Earthrise, but a lot of Transformers fans and collectors found Thrust to be equally as hard to find as Dirge and Ramjet were, since even though he was individually released, being a Target exclusive, it wasn't any better for Thrust. So for those who missed out on him as well, fingers crossed also that he finally gets a re-release as well, so all 3 of the Earthrise Coneheads will have been given a second release. So yeah, I'm really thrilled to finally have a replacement Ramjet figure. So far I have no plans on releasing Legacy United Ramjet since I looked at the Earthrise Ramjet figure along with Dirge back in 2020. And yeah, I still have that review up on my channel, but yeah, I currently have no plans whatsoever on reviewing, is what I meant to say, Legacy United Ramjet, and since I already have the Earthrise figure and I already did a review on that one. But the following Legacy United figures I will do reviews on eventually. There were 4 deluxe figures in Wave 5 of Legacy United, and of the 4, 2 of them are re-releases, just like Voyager Class Ramjet, and also Ramjet's Wavemate, Voyager Class Tarn of Legacy United. He's also a re-release of the Legacy Evolution Tarn figure, so There are a total of, if I remember correctly, 8 action figures that make up the final wave of Legacy United, which is the final wave of the entire Legacy trilogy. And they're all re-releases or they're repaints of previously released Transformers figures, so none of the characters released in the final wave of Legacy United / final wave of Transformers Legacy, none of them are new molds, but the ones that are re-releases, they're ones of figures that have been hard to find in the past, so everyone is glad that Hasbro is re-releasing them. The re-released figures are Leader Class Galaxy Shuttle, Voyager Class Ramjet, and Voyager Tarn, and also 2 of the deluxe figures of Origin Bumblebee, which is Cybertron mode Bumblebee, although a lot of Transformers fans and collectors have said that that figure was fairly easy to find when it was released exclusively at Target stores in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line back in 2021 during the time when Transformers Kingdom was on the shelves. But the other re-released deluxe figure is Deluxe Class Cosmos, who, until his re-release in Wave 5 of Legacy United, Cosmos, I believe, held the title of being the rarest and most hard-to-find deluxe class figure of the entire Legacy trilogy, so him getting a re-release in Legacy United at mass retail was a definite thumbs up to Hasbro from fans and collectors. Same thing with Leader Class Galaxy Shuttle, and then the other re-release of Voyager Class Tarn, just like Origins Bumblebee. A lot of fans and collectors are kind of saying that they did eventually find Tarn, and those who still haven't found Tarn after watching other reviews and collectors who did manage to get a hold of Tarn, that he's a figure that not necessarily is the greatest. I've seen a few Transformers fans and collectors who did miss out on Tarn's Legacy Evolution release, and they weren't happy with the I was trying to lean over because it's behind me, the Target exclusive 4-pack release of Tarn, which you can see right there. That's Tarn right over my shoulder. That version has his Cyberverse paint job, but it's been a mixed bag about Tarn being the other Voyager class figure. You're getting an encore release alongside Ramjet, who was last released in, as I said already, in Earthrise back in 2020. And then the repaint figures include Leader Class Overcharge, Arge, and then there aren't any core class figures released in Wave 5 of Legacy United. Hasbro announced last year in 2024 that the core class Transformers were the of all these size classes of Transformers figures released in the Legacy line and also in the Studio Series line, core class was the poorest selling size class of Transformers figures. So core class is done with, so tiny core class figures such as Studio Series Steeljaw, who I'm pointing at right up here in the top corner of my screen. Core class Transformers won't be made anymore, and there haven't been any announcements on core class figures being released in the Age of the Primes line, so it looks like once again for the Age of the Primes line, Deluxe class will be the smallest size class of Transformers figures. But the final 2 deluxe figures, apart from Cosmos and Bumblebee, which aren't re-releases, they're repaints of previously released figures, I did get those. So without further delay, here is the Generation 2 version of Breakdown. Breakdown is the 3rd Legacy Stunticon to be given a repaint in his Generation 2 paint job. The first 2 were G2 Dragstrip, who was released in the Velocitron on Speedia 500 Walmart exclusive subline during Legacy Year 1, and at the very end of 2022, he was renamed Shadowstrip because Hasbro couldn't get a registered trademark on the name G2 Dragstrip. But yeah, that figure was by all accounts its Generation 2 Dragstrip, and then the other G2 Stunticon was Legacy Evolution Toxitron Collection G2 Dead End. G2 Dead End was released as a Walmart exclusive in the Walmart exclusive G2 Toxitron on collection subline. So Breakdown is the first G2 Legacy Stunticon to be released at mass retail. And someone pointed out that when you compare this to the Legacy G1 Breakdown figure that was released during the final wave of, technically G1 Breakdown was the final Legacy Year 1 figure to be released, but he was released during the Wave 1 of Legacy Evolution. But the head sculpts are different. G2 Breakdown, he has a different head sculpt than Legacy G1 Breakdown, and this head sculpt was actually used on the Legacy Minosaur 5-pack. X box set, which was released exclusively, I believe, through Hasbro Pulse. I never got that set. I never had any interest in it, but hopefully with the release of Breakdown now during the final wave of Legacy United, that's 3 of the 5 stunticons done in their G2 paint jobs, so hopefully Wild Rider and Motormaster will be soon to follow, so people can have a Legacy G2 Menasor in their collections if they desire. And of course that now opens the Pandora's box of, with the next combiner being released in the Age of the Prime, with aims being Superion and the Aerial Bots, will they be repainted into their G2 colors just like their Combiner Wars figures were back in 2015, since Menasor is now following the path that his Combiner Wars figure did, where his Legacy figure, after being released in G1 colors, it's now being released in G2 colors. I thought there was, supposedly that G2 Wild Rider was found in a listing of Transformers action figures that are getting released this year in 2025, but who knows if Wild Rider will be released at mass retail like G2 Breakdown has been released, or if he'll be an exclusive just like Dead End and Drag Strip were. But I just hope that none of the other Stunticons suffer Drag Strip's fate of having to have a new registered trademark name. But yeah, hopefully sometime in the very near future we will be able to have a Generation 2 Menasor figure on our own shelves here in our collections. And then the final deluxe figure from Wave 5 of Legacy United is none other than the Armada version of Wheeljack. So yeah, I am really thrilled to have this guy. I have the original Hasbro released Armada Wheeljack action figure. Infamously, the Hasbro release of Armada Wheeljack, the paint job doesn't match the one that he has in the Armada cartoon. It was one that Hasbro decided to modify for their own, because they wanted to have Hasbro wanted to give a lot of the Armada characters their own distinguished looks, so a lot of the paint jobs were changed from the Takara releases. And infamously, instead of having blue stripes on his Robot Mode chest as the Armada Wheeljack action figure, the Hasbro original release version had yellow stripes, which matched the yellow racing stripes Hasbro gave him on the sides, which were his missiles, which are seen here by his missile swords that are used here on his alt mode. This figure is a straight up repaint of the Transformers Shattered Glass G2 side swipe figure there, which I still have to review, so I'm going to review that figure first before I get to Armada Wheeljack. A lot of Transformers fans and collectors were hoping that Wheeljack would be partnered up with his minicon Windshear, which would have been a straight up repaint of the minicon that sold with Shatterglass sideswipe of Whisper, but unfortunately it didn't happen, and so far the only modern day Armada minicons that we've gotten have been Shatterglass Whisper and Hotshot's minicon partner Jolt, who was sold with the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Powerlinks Hotshot figure. So a lot of fans and collectors were hoping that with Core Class Transformers being phased out by Hasbro, that maybe the minicons and the Micromasters might return to shelves. There's been no word on that so far. I myself am going to lean to the possibility that that's more likely not going to happen, that we'll get more modern minicons and Micromasters, even with more and more increasing numbers of characters from the Armada Transformers series being released, because apparently the modern Micromasters released in the Transformers Siege and Earthrise lines back in 2019 and 2020 didn't sell that well, which is why Core Class replaced the Micromasters, starting with the Kingdom line in 2021. But now, 4 years after that, Core Class is gone, so who knows if we're going to get any more small-sized Transformers action figures that are smaller size than Deluxes. Sorry about that, I had to take a phone call, but yeah, as I was saying, who knows if the minicons, if we're going to get more than the 2 we got as exclusives. But personally I'm not holding my breath for them or modern Micromasters. But I've already babbled on longer than I wanted to, and I apologize profusely. This video's gone on longer than I wanted it to. I wanted to keep it up under 10 minutes, and now I'm approaching 15 minutes, so let's see if we can keep this under 20 minutes. So moving right along, Ramjet, G2 Breakdown, and Armada Wheeljack were the final Legacy United Wave 5 figures that I added to my collection. action, but that's not to say they were the only Transformers figures I wanted to get, because I also added to my collection the latest Studio Series Gamer Edition action figure of Voyager class Skywarp. So yeah, Skywarp is now here. He is a straight-up repaint of the Gamer Edition Starscream action figure. So if you didn't enjoy the Gamer Edition Starscream action figure, you might not necessarily enjoy Skywarp, because historically, like most Skywarp action figures, the Gamer Edition Studio Series figure of him is just a straight-up repaint of Starscream. But he is a neat one to have, and Skywarp's always been my favorite of the three original Seekers. So, regardless of the Gamer Edition Seeker not being my favorite Seeker action figure, Skywarp was still a must-have figure for my personal Transformers collection. So that's really nice to finally have him here in hand. And I did see on a listing of upcoming Transformers action figures released throughout the year 2025. This mold is going to be used a third time for Thundercracker. Thundercracker is scheduled for release sometime between June and July of this year. So, considering the fact that Gamer Edition Starscream came out over a year ago at the beginning of 2024, it took 1.5 years, but we finally got all three of the Gamer Edition Seekers being given Voyager class figures from the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron video games. My brain's working faster than my tongue, so that's why I'm failing to find the words that I want to say. Hey, but yeah, I'm glad I was able to get Gamer Edition Skywarp. No regrets adding him to my collection. Same thing with the last two action figures. These are the ones that came out the most long time ago compared to the other ones I already showed off. So the most surprising one is the next one I'm going to show off, which the only individually packaged Autobot that I got from this most recent haul of Transformers figures, and it is this guy. It is the Legacy Diaclone Universe version of Twin Twist. This guy was released in the Legacy Year 1 Amazon exclusive Wreck and Rule collection back in 2022. I passed on Twin Twist for the last 2.5 years because I wanted to wait and see if he would eventually be joined by his partner and fellow Autobot Jumpstarter Topspin and being given a figure in the Diaclone colors. And they finally announced at the start of the month, or a few weeks ago I should say, that we are getting Titans Return Topspin repainted in Diaclone colors like we did with Twin Twist in the Age of the Primes line later this year. Unlike Twin Twist, Topspin is being released in a 2-pack with a re-release, or not a re-release, a repaint of Siege, Spinister, and a new paint job. But yeah, we're finally getting this year in 2025 the Diaclone version of Topspin to finally stand beside the Diaclone Twin Twist action figure. So that was my excuse to finally get this figure and add it to my collection, since Topspin is now coming out later this year. And just a heads up, Twin Twist, unfortunately, he's out of stock on Amazon's own inventory, so he's not selling for his retail price tag of $25 anymore. The only people that are selling Twin Twist on Amazon right now are scalpers who want close to double the price that he went for the last 2 years. So I am now officially kicking myself in the pants for not getting Twin Twist when he was still in stock at retail price with Amazon's own inventory, or back in 2022, or even last year in 2023. But I don't regret getting him now. I still don't regret getting him now, though, because once Topspin is here, I'll finally have 2 versions of Topspin and Twin Twist, since I managed to get a hold of the original Titans Return versions of them. So last but definitely by no means least, the final Transformers product I added to my collection, which was the first of these 6 Transformers to actually come in. It came in from Amazon over a week ago, and it was one of my first purchases for 2025, and it is the Transformers crossover Street Fighter 2 action figures of Hot Rod Ken and RC Chun-Li. I got the other Street Fighter 2-pack, Transformers 2-pack of Optimus Prime, Ryu, and Megatron and Bison, so I decided to get the other Street Fighter pack to round out my Street Fighter collection. I apologize for making the video longer than I intended. But yeah, this has been my latest haul of Transformers action figures. Which of these figures do you enjoy the most? Do you enjoy the Street Fighter, Autobots, or Diaclone own a Wrecker Twin Twist, or do you enjoy the latest releases of the Legacy United Transformers such as Ramjet, G2 Breakdown, and Armada Wheeljack? Or are you even a fan of Gamer Edition Skywarp? Let me know down in the comments section. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This has been the TFangy with my most recent haul of Transformers action figures. This might be my final haul for January of 2024 because, as with these Transformers figures from Amazon now in my collection, I have officially added to my collection all the Transformers action figures that have been released right now on the market that I wanted to add to my collection. So now I just have to play the waiting game for Wave 1 of Age of the Primes to arrive on the shelves. But considering the backlog of Transformers action figures that I still have to make reviews on, as you can see by the wall of figures behind me, playing the waiting game for Wave 1 of Age of the Primes won't be boring for me, since I have a lot of Transformers figures to still review out there. I have close to 60 Transformers action figures still that I have to review before I finally finish playing catch-up on my reviews. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and please wish me luck with my reviews. Until next time, this has been the TFangeek. Thank you to all my subscribers and friends for your continued support. Please remember to stay safe, stay healthy, transform, and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.